You know what worries so many Americans at night? It's not the bills piling up on the kitchen counter. It's not the traffic or politics. It's something much closer to home, something that disrupts rest, peace, and energy. It's the frustration of lying in bed, finally finding a comfortable position, only to feel that urge again. The constant waking up in the middle of the night to rush to the bathroom, sometimes 3, 4, or even 5 times. For seniors across this country, that problem has a name: nocturia. It's when your bladder keeps interrupting your rest, and instead of getting the deep sleep your body needs, you're stuck in a cycle of exhaustion and frustration. If you've ever sat on the edge of the bed in the dark, rubbing your eyes, wishing your bladder would just give you one solid night of rest, then you know exactly how discouraging this can be. And here's the thing. Most people think it's just a normal part of aging. They accept it as something they have to live with. But that's not true. The body gives us signals, and frequent urination at night is one of those signals. It means something inside is out of balance. And the good news is that nature has already given us tools to help bring things back into balance. Today I'm going to talk to you about 3 powerful vegetables that can make a huge difference for seniors dealing with nocturia. 3 vegetables that not only calm your bladder, but also strengthen your body, improve circulation, reduce inflammation, and give you back the rest you deserve. But before we jump into those vegetables, I need you to understand why this issue matters so much. When you don't sleep well, everything in your body suffers. Your memory gets weaker, your balance gets shaky, your immune system drops, and your heart works harder than it should. Sleep is when your body repairs itself, but when nocturia keeps waking you up, you're not getting that repair. Over time, this puts stress on your heart, your brain, and even your mood. That's why solving nighttime urination isn't just about convenience. It's about protecting your long-term health. Now, let's talk about one of the most powerful vegetables that can help. The first one may surprise you because it's not exotic, it's not expensive, and you can probably find it in any grocery store in America. I'm talking about celery. Yes, good old celery sticks. Celery is often overlooked as just a crunchy snack for dipping in peanut butter or ranch. But the truth is, celery has been used for centuries in traditional medicine as a natural diuretic and bladder cleanser. Now you might be thinking, wait a second, if it's a diuretic, doesn't that mean it makes you pee more? And yes, during the day, celery can help your body release excess fluids and flush out toxins. But here's the secret. By helping your body get rid of excess water during the daytime, celery actually reduces the chances that your bladder will wake you up at night. It trains your body to balance fluids earlier, so your nights are calmer. Celery is also packed with compounds called phthalides, which help relax the muscles in your arteries. This lowers blood pressure and improves circulation, which is especially important for seniors. Better circulation means your kidneys and bladder aren't under as much stress. Plus, celery is anti-inflammatory, so it soothes irritation in the bladder lining, a common reason seniors feel that constant urge to go, even when the bladder isn't full. I remember speaking with a retired nurse named Linda from Michigan. She told me she had been struggling with waking up 4 times a night, every night, and she was exhausted. Her doctor gave her medication, but the side effects made her dizzy and even more tired. A friend suggested she start eating celery in the afternoons, just a few sticks every day. Within a few weeks, Linda noticed a change. She still went to the bathroom, but mostly during the day, and at night she was down to just once or twice. She told me, "I feel like I got my life back." And that's the power of something as simple as celery. But of course, celery isn't a magic cure all on its own. You've got to use it wisely. Eating raw celery in the afternoon or adding chopped celery to soups and salads can be very effective. Drinking celery juice in the morning is another way, but you want to avoid having too much of it late in the evening. Remember, the goal is to balance your bladder before bedtime, not to overload it right before you lay down. Now let's shift to the second vegetable, one that has been studied heavily for its impact on prostate health, kidney function, and bladder support. This vegetable is pumpkin. And no, I'm not talking about pumpkin pie with whipped cream. I'm talking about the flesh and especially the seeds of pumpkin. Pumpkin seeds are a traditional remedy for urinary problems, and modern science backs it up. They're rich in zinc, magnesium, and antioxidants that specifically support the bladder and prostate. For men, this is huge Because one of the top causes of nocturia in senior men is an enlarged prostate pressing on the bladder. Pumpkin seed extract has been shown to reduce the frequency of nighttime urination and improve overall bladder control. For women, pumpkin seeds are equally powerful because they contain phytoestrogens, plant-based compounds that help balance hormones. As women age and estrogen levels drop, the tissues around the bladder and urethra weaken, leading to more urgency and leaks. Pumpkin seeds help strengthen those tissues and calm inflammation, making nighttime trips less frequent. I'll share another story. A man named Robert, 70 years old, from Arizona, told me he was embarrassed because he couldn't make it through the night without waking up 3 or 4 times. His wife complained that their sleep was constantly interrupted. After reading about pumpkin seeds, he started eating a small handful every evening. Within a month, he was sleeping 5 to 6 hours straight without interruption. He said, "I didn't believe something so simple could work, but now I'm convinced." What makes pumpkin seeds even more effective is that they're easy to add to your routine. You can sprinkle them on oatmeal, blend them into smoothies, or just snack on a roasted handful in the afternoon. And if you enjoy pumpkin as a vegetable, the flesh itself is loaded with potassium and fiber, both of which help regulate fluid balance in the body. That means less strain on the bladder at night. Now, before I move on to the third vegetable, I want you to pause and imagine what it would feel like to wake up after a full night's rest. No stumbling to the bathroom half asleep, no worrying about accidents, just deep, restorative sleep. That's what these foods are about, not just fixing a symptom, but giving you back quality of life. The third vegetable on our list is asparagus. This may surprise you, but asparagus has been called a bladder tonic for generations. It's full of asparagine, an amino acid that has a cleansing effect on the urinary tract. It helps flush out excess salts and toxins while reducing irritation in the bladder lining. But here's the key: when eaten in moderation and earlier in the day, asparagus helps regulate how your kidneys handle fluids, making nighttime urination less of a problem. Asparagus is also a natural anti-inflammatory and antioxidant powerhouse. For seniors dealing with swelling in the legs, poor circulation, or high blood pressure, asparagus helps relieve that pressure so the kidneys and bladder don't have to work overtime at night. And here's something fascinating. Asparagus is also rich in folate and vitamin K, nutrients that support blood vessel health. Why does that matter? Because healthier blood vessels mean healthier kidneys, and healthier kidneys mean a calmer bladder. There's a gentleman named Harold, 76 years old, who shared with me that asparagus completely changed his nights. He had been skeptical because he thought asparagus would make his urine smell stronger, and he didn't want to deal with that. But after trying it regularly with his lunch and dinner, he found that his bladder urgency was calming down. Within weeks, he was waking up maybe once at night instead of 4 or 5 times. And the best part, his doctor told him his blood pressure had improved too. The trick with asparagus is to eat it steamed or roasted, not drowned in butter or cream sauces. Pair it with lean protein or whole grains for a balanced meal. And just like with celery, avoid eating large portions right before bedtime. Let your body process it during the day, so your nights stay peaceful. So in this first part of our journey, you've learned about 3 amazing vegetables: celery, pumpkin, and asparagus. Each one works in a different way to calm your bladder, improve circulation, and reduce inflammation. Together, they form a powerful toolkit for seniors battling nocturia. But we're only just getting started. In the next part, I'm going to take you deeper into how these vegetables interact with your body, the mistakes seniors make when trying to use them, and the simple routines you can adopt to finally win back your nights. Because remember, this isn't about giving up foods you love. It's about using food as medicine, the way nature intended. Now that you've been introduced to the 3 vegetables, celery, pumpkin, and asparagus, it's time to dive deeper into how they actually work in the body and how you can use them wisely without making common mistakes. Too many seniors hear about a miracle food, rush out to buy it, and then get frustrated when it doesn't solve their problem. The truth is, food works with your body like a partnership. If you don't give it the right environment, it can't do its job. That's why in this part, I want to slow down and really break down how these vegetables support your bladder, kidneys, and overall health. Let's start again with celery. Remember how I said celery is a natural diuretic. That means it helps your body push out excess sodium and water during the daytime. But here's something important. Most Americans eat too much salt, and that salt holds on to water inside the body. At night, when you finally lie down, your body starts redistributing fluids. That's when your bladder fills up and wakes you. By eating celery during the day, you're actually releasing that trapped water early, which prevents it from overloading your bladder at night. But here's the mistake many people make. They eat celery sticks late in the evening, thinking they're doing something healthy. The problem is that timing backfires. It can make you urinate even more at night. Trick is to enjoy celery before 6 or 7 p.m. so your body has time to process it. For seniors who tend to snack late, switching that habit to earlier in the afternoon can be a game changer. Imagine watching your favorite TV show with a small plate of celery and hummus around 4 p.m. instead of grabbing chips before bed. Not only are you giving your bladder a break, but you're cutting down on salt and processed foods that make nocturia worse. Another tip with celery is to pair it with potassium-rich foods like bananas or sweet potatoes during the day. Potassium helps balance sodium levels, and when sodium is balanced, your kidneys and bladder don't work as hard at night. Many Americans over 60 are low in potassium, which is one reason they experience water retention, swelling in the ankles, and frequent urination. Celery helps correct that balance naturally. Now let's return to pumpkin and pumpkin seeds. I want to explain more about why pumpkin seeds are especially powerful for men. The prostate gland, which sits just below the bladder, tends to enlarge with age. This isn't always cancer. It's often just benign enlargement. But when the prostate grows, it squeezes the urethra and irritates the bladder, leading to constant urgency and nighttime trips. Pumpkin seeds contain compounds called phytosterols, which have been shown in research to shrink prostate tissue and calm inflammation. This directly reduces pressure on the bladder and restores more normal urination patterns. For women, the story is a little different. After menopause, estrogen levels decline, which makes bladder muscles weaker and less elastic. That's why so many women complain about sudden urgency or leaks when coughing or sneezing. Pumpkin seeds come to the rescue here too, because the phytoestrogens in them mimic some of the effects of estrogen. They help restore tone and strength to the bladder muscles, reducing those sudden urges at night. Now, how do you actually use pumpkin seeds? A mistake many seniors make is roasting them with lots of salt. Yes, they taste delicious that way, but the added salt undoes the benefits by causing more water retention. The better option is to buy unsalted pumpkin seeds, sometimes labeled Pepitas, and eat a small handful raw or lightly roasted without salt. Even 2 tablespoons a day can make a noticeable difference over time. If you don't like chewing on seeds, you can grind them into a powder and add it to oatmeal, yogurt, or smoothies. Some people even sprinkle pumpkin seed powder on salads. The key is consistency. This isn't something you eat once and expect results. Just like exercise strengthens your muscles over time, pumpkin seeds strengthen your bladder and prostate function over weeks and months. And here's something else that's fascinating. Pumpkin seeds are also rich in magnesium. Many seniors don't realize they're deficient in magnesium, and one of the symptoms of magnesium deficiency is frequent urination. Magnesium helps relax the bladder muscle and prevents spasms that wake you up at night. So by eating pumpkin seeds, you're not just helping your prostate or bladder lining, you're also supplying magnesium that calms the entire system. Now, let's move on to asparagus again. Asparagus is sometimes misunderstood because people notice it makes their urine smell stronger. Some folks avoid it for that reason. But here's the truth: that smell is harmless, and it's just a sign that your body is breaking down sulfur compounds. What matters is what asparagus is doing inside your urinary tract. Those sulfur compounds actually have antibacterial properties, which help protect against urinary tract infections. Seniors are more vulnerable to UTIs, which can cause nocturia. So asparagus is not only calming your bladder, but also guarding you against infections that could make things worse. Another thing asparagus does is act as a natural kidney filter. The kidneys are responsible for filtering waste from the blood, and as we age, they can get sluggish. That sluggishness shows up as water retention in the legs, swelling in the ankles, and extra stress on the bladder. By stimulating the kidneys, asparagus helps clear that waste more efficiently, which means fewer signals to urinate at night. Now let's talk about lifestyle. Because while these vegetables are powerful, they work best when paired with good habits. One of the biggest mistakes seniors make is drinking too much fluid right before bedtime. Some even drink a glass of water or milk thinking it will help them sleep, but all it does is fill the bladder. The smarter approach is to hydrate earlier in the day, especially in the morning and afternoon, then taper off fluids about 2 hours before bed. If you get thirsty at night, a few small sips are okay, but avoid full glasses. Another mistake is relying on caffeine or alcohol in the evening. Both of these are bladder irritants. Caffeine stimulates the kidneys to produce more urine, and alcohol relaxes the bladder muscles, making leaks and urgency more likely. By cutting out coffee, tea, or alcohol after 4 p.m., you give your bladder a much better chance of staying calm at night. Now, imagine combining these smart habits with the power of celery, pumpkin, and asparagus. During the day, you enjoy celery sticks as a snack, sprinkle pumpkin seeds on your lunch salad, and have roasted asparagus with dinner. You taper your fluids after 7 p.m., and you skip the evening glass of wine or coffee. What happens then? Your bladder has less irritation, your kidneys process fluids earlier, and your nights become quieter. I want to share a powerful story here. Mary, a 68-year-old grandmother from Ohio, struggled with nocturia for years. She told me she felt embarrassed when visiting her grandchildren because she always had to excuse herself to use the bathroom at night. After watching a health program, she decided to give these vegetables a try. She made a simple routine: celery with lunch, pumpkin seeds as a snack in the afternoon, and asparagus with her evening meal. Within 3 weeks, Mary noticed she was only waking up once a night instead of 3 or 4 times. She said, "I thought I'd have to live with this forever, but I'm finally sleeping again." That's the kind of transformation that's possible when you give your body the right support. And it doesn't require expensive supplements or risky medications. It's about listening to your body, choosing the right foods, and being consistent. As we move forward, I want you to think of your bladder as a friend that needs care. When you irritate it with too much salt, caffeine, or alcohol, it complains by waking you up. But when you soothe it with anti-inflammatory, nutrient-rich vegetables like celery, pumpkin, and asparagus, it relaxes and lets you rest. In the final chapter, we're going to put all of this together into a simple, practical plan you can follow. I'll show you exactly how to structure your meals, when to eat these vegetables, and how to build a nighttime routine that almost guarantees deeper, longer sleep. Because at the end of the day, it's not just about knowing what to eat, it's about knowing how to live in a way that supports your health every single night. So stay with me, because next we'll tie everything together into a plan you can start today, and you'll see just how powerful these 3 vegetables really are for eliminating frequent urination at night. Now that you know the science behind celery, pumpkin, and asparagus, and you understand the mistakes that can undo their benefits, let's talk about how to bring it all together into a daily routine that works for real life. Because information alone won't change your nights. It's action, consistency, and the right timing that create results. I want to show you how to take these 3 vegetables and weave them into a lifestyle that not only reduces nighttime trips to the bathroom, but also strengthens your overall health, energy, and peace of mind. Let's start with the morning. Many seniors wake up dehydrated. That's because during sleep, your body loses water through breathing and sweating, even if you don't notice it. The first thing you should do when you wake up is drink a glass of water. But here's the secret. Adding just a small slice of celery to your morning routine can set the tone for the whole day. Celery contains compounds that signal your kidneys to start flushing sodium and excess water earlier in the day, which is exactly what you want. This way, your body processes fluids in the morning instead of piling them up for the nighttime. A simple breakfast might include oatmeal topped with ground pumpkin seeds and fresh berries. The pumpkin seeds will start working on your bladder and prostate health right away, while the berries add antioxidants to protect your blood vessels and nerves, both of which are crucial for bladder control. Pair that with your glass of water and a little celery juice, and you've already set yourself up for success. By lunchtime, your goal is to get a second serving of vegetables in, especially celery. A great option is a big salad with chopped celery, leafy greens, cucumbers, and a handful of pumpkin seeds sprinkled on top. Not only is this light and refreshing, but it's also hydrating and helps prevent constipation, which is another hidden cause of nocturia. Yes, constipation can push against the bladder and make you feel like you need to urinate more often. By keeping your digestion smooth with fiber, you're giving your bladder more room to relax. In the afternoon, instead of reaching for cookies or chips, make it a habit to snack on unsalted pumpkin seeds. Even a small handful gives you magnesium, zinc, and those phytosterols that strengthen your bladder and prostate health. If you like variety, try mixing pumpkin seeds with sunflower seeds or walnuts for nutrient-rich trail mix. Just remember, unsalted is best. Salted seeds may taste good, but the added sodium leads to fluid retention, which puts pressure on your bladder later. Dinner is the perfect time to enjoy asparagus. Whether roasted, steamed, or added into a stir-fry, asparagus not only tastes delicious but also supports kidney and bladder health. Here's a tip. Drizzle your asparagus with a little olive oil and garlic. Olive oil provides healthy fats that reduce inflammation, and garlic adds antibacterial support. This simple dish not only complements almost any meal, but also ensures that you're taking in the compounds that help reduce nighttime urgency. Now, let's talk about timing, because this part is critical. If you eat these vegetables at the wrong times, you might not see the results you want. Celery and asparagus should be eaten earlier in the day or at dinner no later than 6 or 7 p.m. That way, your body has time to process their natural diuretic effects before bedtime. Pumpkin seeds, on the other hand, can be eaten any time of day, but most people find them best in the afternoon or early evening as a light snack. This timing gives your body the nutrients it needs to calm the bladder before night sets in. And now, let's build the nighttime routine. One of the most powerful habits you can adopt is to cut back on fluids about 2 hours before bed. This doesn't mean dehydrating yourself, but simply shifting most of your fluid intake to earlier in the day. For example, if you're used to drinking tea or milk right before bed, switch that habit to mid-afternoon. This single change alone can dramatically reduce nighttime bathroom trips. Another key is creating a relaxing pre-bed environment. Stress and anxiety can actually trigger the urge to urinate, even if your bladder isn't full. Many seniors don't realize this, but the bladder is very sensitive to the nervous system. When you're anxious, your bladder becomes more irritable. By creating a routine that includes deep breathing, light stretching, or even a warm bath before bed, you calm your nervous system and reduce those phantom urges. Let's not forget posture. During the day, if you spend a lot of time sitting, fluid can collect in your legs and ankles. When you finally lie down at night, that fluid moves back into circulation, fills your bladder, and forces you to get up. One simple solution is to elevate your legs for about 20 minutes in the late afternoon or early evening. This allows the excess fluid to drain earlier, so it doesn't disturb you at night. Combine this with your vegetable routine, and you'll notice a big difference in your sleep. Now I want to emphasize something important. These 3 vegetables, celery, pumpkin, and asparagus, are powerful tools, but they're not magic bullets. They work best as part of a bigger picture that includes balanced meals, reduced salt intake, regular physical activity, and healthy sleep habits. Think of them as your allies, not your entire army. When you combine them with smart lifestyle choices, the results can feel life-changing. Let me share another real story. John, a 72-year-old retired teacher from Texas, told me he was waking up 5 times a night, exhausted and frustrated. His doctor suggested medication, but John wanted to try something natural first. After learning about these vegetables, he built a routine. Celery sticks with lunch, pumpkin seeds as an afternoon snack, and asparagus with dinner at least 4 nights a week. He also elevated his legs before bed and cut back on evening fluids. Within 1 month, John went from waking up 5 times to just once a night. He said, "I feel like I got my life back. I'm sleeping, I have energy again, and I'm not afraid to visit friends overnight." That's the power of giving your body what it needs, and that's why I want to encourage you. Don't just listen to this information, take action. Start small if you need to. Add 1 new habit this week. Maybe it's eating celery at lunch. Next week, add pumpkin seeds in the afternoon. The week after, make asparagus part of your dinner rotation. Step by step, you'll notice the changes. And don't forget, consistency is the secret. Too many people try something for a few days, don't see instant results, and give up. But your body doesn't work that way. Just like exercise builds muscle slowly, food reshapes your health over weeks and months. If you stay with it, you will see the difference. So, here's my call to you: make tonight the start of your new routine. Choose one of these vegetables and make it part of your day. Notice how your body responds and keep building from there. Over time, you'll find yourself sleeping longer, waking up more refreshed, and living with more freedom. And before we close, let me bring you back to the hook we started with. Imagine going to bed, closing your eyes, and not waking up until the morning light shines through your window. No stumbling to the bathroom, no frustration, just deep, restorative sleep. That future is within your reach, and it starts with the simple, everyday power of celery, pumpkin, and asparagus. If you found this helpful, make sure to come back and watch more of my videos, because I'll keep bringing you practical, science-based tips to improve your health, energy, and independence. Your health is your greatest treasure, and you deserve to enjoy it fully.